I am Liam Dance, and this is Cosmology 301, Time and Travel. Now that we know more about our universe, I want to go more deeply into the implications of the shape of the universe. On this scale, the only two processes we need to consider are that photons change colour or they step through time. The ratio of these two processes changes. Here, at the centre of a galaxy, on the surface of a black hole, the photons are changing colour every moment, so they're not stepping through time at all. Whereas here, in intergalactic space, they are stepping through time and only occasionally change colour as a ray passes through. Now, when we come to think about movement in 3D space, it's linked to the passage of time. The faster you travel, the more slowly subjective time passes, which is one of Einstein's insights. I explain this as an object with mass, a neutron say, is a persistent pattern of photons involving a kernel and shells of triads. Movement in 3D space means that this whole pattern is transferred one photon away, where it rests and moves through time, before moving another photon. So while it moves through space, it doesn't move through time. This means that in any region, the colour rotation is at a fixed rate. Our solar system is entirely within one of these regions. This represents a galactic centre, and this is going towards intergalactic space. As you travel away from a galactic centre, the frequency of the colour rotation gets less. I think of these boundaries between one rhythm and another as like contour lines on a map. They will be close together near the galactic centre and far apart in intergalactic space. As an object with mass crosses a contour line, there might be some turbulence, a bit like a plane passing through the sound barrier. Its triads will rotate more slowly, and consequently its mass will decrease. But its momentum stays the same, so its velocity will increase. This effect explains why the velocity of stars remains more or less constant, no matter how far from their galactic centre. Whereas in our solar system, the planets further away from the Sun move slower, in a fixed ratio. Pluto averages 10 times as far from the Sun as Mercury, and it moves 1/10 as fast. The two effects, the slowing down as you move away from the centre, and the speeding up as you cross these contour lines, more or less cancel out. So let's consider a spacecraft. Perhaps a space habitat might be a better name. Accelerating away from our galaxy, moving out into intergalactic space. As it crosses these contour lines, it will become less massive and travel faster until it has very little mass and is travelling at a sizable proportion of the speed of light. This means the subjective time to its passengers slows down to practically zero. This intergalactic space is like an ocean. It separates, but if you have a boat, it allows for free passage. So now, it takes very little subjective time to travel to a far galaxy. The subjective time is mostly taken up by accelerating and then decelerating at the other end. The travelling in between these two states doesn't really contribute to subjective time at all. You can go as far as you like. If this acceleration time takes a year, say, then it would take 2 years to get almost anywhere in the universe, and another 2 years to get back. There is a cost, of course. If you travel 1,000 light years and then come back, you would arrive more than 2,000 light years into the future. The more includes an amount due to not actually travelling at the speed of light, plus the subjective time that you've taken to travel. You also might want to stay for a while. It might be your descendants who make the trip back. The point being that the Earth will be an utterly different place. It will have a society that has adjusted to the fact that people from the past keep popping up. Compound interest becomes a very bad idea, and even simple interest is untenable if it is greater than inflation. If we travel within a particular colour rotation, say this one, then our mass will stay the same. No matter how fast they go. But the subjective time slows down as they go faster. Their subjective time reaches zero when their movement through space has taken up all the freedom that the colour rotation allows. If the region requires 2 rotations to 1 free, then the maximum speed is 1/3 of light speed. If 1 rotation to 4 free, then the maximum speed is 4/5 of light speed, and so on. If we travel inwards towards the centre of a galaxy, then the craft will become more massive as it crosses contour lines, and the acceleration won't produce much increase in speed. And the craft will actually go slower past a certain point. And that's the point where it will become very difficult to return. Our subjective time will also slow as we cross the contour lines. But whichever direction we travel, we will come back to an Earth that has moved forward in time relative to us. The only particles with mass that we are sure travel between galaxies are neutrinos. And if neutrinos can do it, so can we. We just need a craft, a space drive, and an energy source. So now I'm going to think about the craft. I have a dream of a bubble parked at one of the Earth-Moon Lagrange points, either 4 or 5, which has a balanced ecosystem, plants, animals, fungi, whatever else is necessary. This is sustained by sunlight or matter-energy conversion. We would need a volunteer to live there long term, without the intention to return. It would make sense for this volunteer to be old already, and I want my name to be on the top of the list.